Alright, boys, it's time to.
Fuck two and spit on that thing. You get me?
BLUELOCK Season 2 is messed up for real. It's lifeless, soulless, dull, bland, monotonous, mediocre, unenthusiastic, hollow, and most of all, it's anticlimactic. It feels like the anime studio is presenting its thesis presentation in front of a bunch of professors, desperately trying to defend it even though there is no hope for it. And you know what professors say, huh? It doesn't make any sense to make an anime where you don't do the basic thing right, that is to animate, and just proceed to show us some boring slideshow presentation here and there. It would be shame not to say that the visuals look stunning, the art looks very well polished, and every frame feels like they are worthy of background wallpaper. It definitely deserves the praise, but it lacks something much more important, which is animation that feels real and fluid. It feels like the anime studio is trying so hard to miss a clear goal of anime production by missing that creative spark that makes a great anime come alive. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to move backwards in progress? Just watch BLUELOCK Season 2. This is exactly what it looks like. BLUELOCK Season 2 is just a faint shadow of everything BLUELOCK Season 1 has brought. Even the very first episode of Season 1 feels superior to everything we have seen in Season 2 so far, when taken as a whole, not just a single episode. The momentum, character development, and intensity that Season 1 established seem almost diminished in this season. Do you guys remember how much Messi has suffered in the past decade to understand the weight of this World Cup title? He lost the World Cup final in 2014 to Germany in extra time, lost two consecutive Copa America finals to Chile, a 2018 World Cup campaign that ended in the round of 16, and was forced to leave Barcelona due to financial issues. It feels like we are going through the same phase, where we have lost all the hope and hype that Season 1 has provided. Season 2 hasn't been able to replicate even 1% of the actual football that Season 1 has done, which doesn't make any sense. It hurts when something promising doesn't live up to the hype. It's a sentiment many people can relate to when following a show or a series that starts off strong and then fails to deliver in subsequent seasons. If Season 2 doesn't come close to the excitement and quality of Season 1, it would naturally feel like a letdown. But there was a redemption arc for Messi, who had to play through a 8-2 defeat and blowing a 3-0 lead twice in the Champions League. And I hope same would be the case for BLUELOCK, else
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night.
the anime has become the visual equivalent of the manga's colorization, or even less, I would say. Even the manga feels more soulful and more animated at times, as the original illustrations have more dynamism than what we get in the anime's lower tier sequences. I mean, why even bother to make an anime if it fails to the basic thing, that is to animate rather than just presenting the slideshow presentation in front of everyone that no one wants to watch? Because no matter how good the story is and how well the characters are written, if they aren't presented in good production in the anime, the quality of the story and characters writing will never show. I mean, what kind of sorcery is this?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
It wouldn't have bothered me as much if this type of animation quality were used for other kinds of anime like The Way of the House Husband, which is basically a motion comic and excels at that. Even Death Note is fine with this kind of animation, as it mostly focuses on mental battles and monologues. And most of the time, we just see Light and Yell staring at each other in still frames. The story would have been told just as well. But when it comes to a genre where action is the core of the story, stellar animation is what makes everything stand out, because that's the main point of the narrative. When you lose the core principles, you lose everything, and that's exactly what's happening right now with the BLUELOCK Season 2. Demon Slayer is one hell of an anime with such hype, all because of its otherworldly animation style and creativity, Even the stiff manga panels have so much vibrant movement and creative flair added to them to capture the audience. But when it comes to Blue Lock, it feels like the anime is downgrading everything the manga panels hold. The manga panels themselves feel more creative and like more of a work of art than the anime production. It's not much to ask, but season 1 of Blue Lock felt like the anime studio knew exactly what they were doing. They did an amazing job, and it showed in the way they brought the series to life. The animation was dynamic, the pacing was tight, and the intensity was evident. Everything felt well crafted. But somehow in the second season, they seem to fall short. It's kind of sad, really. The energy and creativity that made the first season stand out seem to have been lost, and the quality dropped in ways that were noticeable. I mean, how can we even ignore this?
This short order cook? You're not flipping hamburgers here, pal.
The visual flair and fluidity that originally captured the audience's attention are now lacking, leaving the anime feeling less impactful compared to what it once was. The second season of Blue Lock seems to have lost all of its spark. The energy and intensity that the season 1 had, with all its bold dynamic action and raw emotion, seems to have gotten flattened in this season anime adaptation. There is no creativity at all. It's just like there are transitions in between frames with only changes being made to a particular object, without giving any single thought to all the actions and emotions the scene holds. Season 1 set a high bar in terms of animation quality and pacing. The unique, intense style of the show, combined with the high-energy football action, really made it stand out as an anime adaptation of sports manga. The animation was sharp, the action felt fluid, and the stakes were always clear, making it a thrilling experience. But Season 2 definitely is a big drop in quality. It feels like they finished all their budgets in episode Nagi movie. It's frustrating when a series with so much potential doesn't maintain its momentum. The shift to lower quality animation like the PowerPoint presentation feeling, especially in the later episodes that deserve so much more, is a significant issue that can take you out of the experience. It's almost like the animation team ran into some production problems or budget constraints, which sometimes happens with longer anime seasons, but it's still disappointing to see a show lose that much energy and visual impact. It's a bit like the anime has become the visual equivalent of the manga's colorization, less about vibrant, full-bodied motion and more about filling in the gaps, without that same sense of energy or excitement. For a sports anime like Blue Lock, where the action and tension should always be intense, a drop in animation quality can really undercut the hype, especially where the football matches don't have the same intensity. It's also a shame because the show was pushing the idea of hyper-competitive football and an aggressive take on teamwork and individualism, and that kind of energy needs to be come through in the visuals. Without solid animation backing it up, that hype can easily be lost. Hopefully there's an improvement in the later episodes, but it's definitely disappointing when a series starts so strong and falters in later seasons. It's kinda sad.